Hello, everybody. Welcome back. We had a bit of an intermission, but we are getting into game number 2 of the Animal Kingdom versus TShow here in the BTS Americas 4. This is our first series here in round number 2. Winner of this moves into the semifinals. So it's a big match at hand, and Animal Kingdom already up with a 1-game advantage on the back of a nice Invoker set of plays, good black holes, good catches, great farm on Ziz's Sven, and as well as Nusham being able to kind of pull in the early game on his Earth Spirit. We'll have to see what TShow can do to bounce back. This is KotLGuy, of course, bringing you the casting action. I'm going to be joined again remotely by the one and only Blaze. Blaze, welcome back. We had a bit of a break. So what'd you do with your time?
I contemplated life a little bit more. I don't know. I mostly just feed Twitter and Reddit as always. That's what you got to do, man.
That's what. Yeah, you got to sit here. I can't move. I have to make sure I'm here when it does start. You're just planted and waiting for South American internet to download. That's just the life. But let's not delay things much further, Blaze. It looks like, again, TShow will be picking up the Invoker here as their first pick. We'll have to see what Animal Kingdom are going to get for their 1-2 punch now that Earth Spirit is not available. You already mentioned that, maybe Enigma should earn a bit more respect. Well, it's out there and ready. We'll have to see if maybe they put priority into getting it this early in the draft or maybe consider going for it a little later on.
I mean, you can, but generally speaking, Enigma is not a Phase 1 hero. He is definitely not one that you just want to reveal early on, or it's really easy to draft around. There are dozens of heroes that at least soft counter, and just going in, picking up Enigma, especially as a second pick in Phase 1, it's so easy for you to just grab a Venge here. Invoker Venge doesn't convey anything about your draft, but it already has the counters in place to deal with the threat of what TAK want to bring. But I find it interesting that Phase 1, the Animal Kingdom, is banning out the Beastmaster, one of the most animal heroes, and then we got the Enchantress and Lone Druid banned out as well. Man, this is not the Zookeeper game. This is just going to be a very humanoid impression of the world of Dota.
Yeah, could at least grab a Chen, but no, they're going to skip on that too and go for Nature's Prophet. I guess it's a poor man's Animal Kingdom.
If trees are brought to life, do they count as animals? I mean, they're still plants, but conscious, sentient. What's going on here?
I don't know, man. That is some dirty hippie stuff when you really think about it, so we'll have to see. We already know the theme work that the trees can do, though. Prominent since Shanghai, and with it being such a huge grab and still in the pool, it's no surprise to see Animal Kingdom pick it up for themselves. Lots of depth and being able to kind of fall back, be a global presence, or even have the split push game at the ready. If necessary here. TShow, a bit more rinse and repeat from what we saw in game number 1 as far as the drafting goes. Again, in the second phase, they will be banning out the Oracle to make sure that their Darkseer will be able to get that farm. And I got to give it to him. Yeah, last game, Blaze Tavo did get a lot of farm on the Darkseer. He did get a little bit of help with Tusk being around, but we didn't see really any walls at all. So we'll hope that the Darkseer this game is going to be able to be a big impact.
Yeah, he's really going to be the trump card here. But at Phase 2, we're going to be seeing the Oracle OD banned out. Again, these are staples of the Animal Kingdom, moving into essentially just have, not necessarily like a 4 Protect 1 strat, but just have a very aggressive core that can play extremely offensively because he's got the backup. Either a Dazzle or an Oracle are heroes that can really enable the OD and the Sven. And most importantly, the Oracle versus the Darkseer is just too good to leave on the table. Being able to dispel both the Surge, the Iron Chill, it makes it very difficult to lane against if you're Darkseer here. So hopefully Tavo can definitely not only build himself up in terms of gold, but be able to initiate to great effect.
We will be seeing 747 pick up a new hero here as the OD has just been banned out. We'll have to see what other big options are going to be in store for him to consider matching up against the Invoker with. Death Prophet is out there and could use the assistance of the armor bonus from someone like Sven and complements the pushing potential of a Nature's Prophet. And it will be the pick here for Animal Kingdom. Probably one of the just remaining solid options to match up in the mid lane unless you want to be like, I don't know, like a dirty Viper player or something. We'll see.
Yeah, I could even see like a kind of a throwback here and put Jenkins on something like, I mean, well, obviously he's got the Nature Prophet in his arsenal. Like, he's played it 24 times, 12 and 12, so not too bad. But, I mean, you could still kind of mess with things a little bit. Get, like, the Power Spike laning configuration where you go for, like, a 4-position Furion in the jungle, then you get, like, an off-lane Slardar, and then as soon as you get, like, the Blink Dagger, as soon as you get a pushing item or two, like, you just go all together. And the negative armor is huge for heroes like Sven and DP. The AoE stun is great for Sven and that kind of thing. But I guess it's more likely that Animal Kingdom will be bringing out the Nature's Prophet. It's just kind of hard to kind of see if they're comfortable with that kind of playstyle because we really haven't seen this team play with this roster in a consistent fashion. We've seen like one game in the past month, and then obviously their previous match against Evernova. So don't have really that many examples to pull from. But I kind of think that mixing it up a little bit here and going for like a 4 Furion and a 3 Slardar could actually benefit them. But obviously, you gotta go for Occam's Razor, go for the simplest option here, and expect Jenkins to go to the offlane with the Nature's Prophet.
TShow decide to go for the Dazzle as their 5 position. Not something we've been seeing a lot recently here. Does force them to be more of a defensive position. Leads me to believe that they're going to go for... I was going to try to like make the early call like a Ursa. Maybe go as far-fetched as saying a Huskar, just because it's a South American team and they like that kind of a thing. But no, it will be the Spectre grab instead. And this comes after Animal Kingdom will be going back for the Enigma. Will it go to the 4 position? Will it be off lane? Animal Kingdom showed that they have the flexibility that you were already hinting at. And again here, that could end up throwing off TShow in the laning phase if they're not careful.
Yeah, it's interesting. I think the Ursa option was definitely something to be considered, but it probably, here's like DP with the Spirit Siphon are going to be a little bit too good at kiting. Warcry's obviously good. So I think Spectre is going to be a good option. It's just, it really brings question of whether or not they have the answer to the Enigma. They have only picked up one of their 2 supports, so they can still go back for a hero like Vengeful Spirit that's still in the pool as the Wyvern gets banned out here. But let's say right now we're going to see Animal Kingdom get first pick in the final phase. Yeah, they switched the ban order, so maybe not. No, it is. Okay, so that's weird. Okay, anyways, sorry. Then Animal Kingdom usually go for the Vengeful Spirit. It's great for pushing, great for knocking down towers, and doesn't threaten the Enigma himself.
Yeah, I could see a Vengeful Spirit being, grabbed for even TShow. So we'll have to see. Another big option, Lion is still out there at the ready. Could use Heavy Burst against someone like Death Prophet. Outside of that, I thought of it, but I slipped my mind here. I don't think a Silencer would work on this one, but needing possibly some potential catch for the Nature's Prophet. I thought Doom, for whatever reason, could be something, but I don't see a lot of the South American teams pull out that, frisky little 4 position, aka China Doom, very often. Well, I was wondering if it was something they could consider to help against like the Enigma, against straight against Death Prophet.
Pain is probably the only team though. Yeah, there's one player in Pain that essentially like emulates Puppy in his picks. Like he goes for all these jungle style heroes, and Doom is definitely in his arsenal, but I don't think that's been kind of cloned over by any of TShow's members.
5
Right,
seconds
last
remaining.
pick is going to be going the way of Animal Kingdom here. It's got to be a support and a pretty damn selfless one at that.
Reserve
Already
time.
mentioned out a couple of the big promising options there.
Crystal Maiden.
And they're going to be going for the Crystal Maiden, providing that extra
Radiant
bit of
team pick.
mana assistance across the board. And, excuse me, typically good against something like the Enchantress to rid of the pesky summon creeps, but what do you think the significance is of it here? I guess you can, easily freeze out a Spectre Haunt illusion, and have zoning potential, of course, with your Nova, but why Crystal Maiden here and now?
Mana. It's mostly just about sustaining
10
the lanes. I
seconds
mean, there's so much potential benefit from level 2 Arcane Aura. Enigma,
5 seconds
obviously,
remaining.
depending on Soul Ring early, no matter what, but heroes like Death Prophet, Nature's Prophet really benefit
Reserve
from being able
time.
to use their Crypt Swarms and their Nature's Call more frequently. So I think it's great. I think it creates a lot of value. And of course, the Frostbite is still going to be great against the Darkseer. So the CM won't really get the opportunity to jungle here very much because Nusham is going to be on top of that. He's going to be focusing on his own progression. So CM is going to be lane supporting and probably has to go for some Fairy Fires early to actually get some last hit damage. Because it's one thing that you're kind of weak on if you're trying to fight the Darkseer. If you're just leaving the Jenkins safe lane and you send CM Sven bottom, then you can mix things up a little bit. But I'm going to give them the benefit of the doubt, say that they realize that going up against Dazzle, Disruptor, and Spectre is a bad idea, and they'll probably just go and do the CM Sven thing against the Darkseer. So Sven will definitely need a Quelling Blade to, again, kill off the Iron Show quickly, and while CM can zone the Darkseer and scare him with that Frostbite, her
10
base
seconds
damage, her
remaining.
base attack animation, both those are actually pretty bad. So you need the Fairy
5
Fire,
seconds
and
remaining.
you need to be able to do what you can to make that lane safe. Overall, I'm not the biggest fan of the CM pick personally, but I think the Aura is going to be able to bring a lot to the table, and of course the fact that it's harder and harder to cancel all these channeled spells. Does come into play as well.
Yeah, it's such a shame. I just can't feel like maybe even they could have benefited a lot from that Disruptor grab. Animal Kingdom would have been helpful against that Darkseer in the laning stage, but I would have to agree with you. Their ways on combating this Darkseer are not going to be easy. Sure, it looks like Nushim now is going to get his turn, and it's the infamous dire jungle pattern farm for your Enigma, which is going to secure him some ridiculous XP fast. And he knows he's not going to be contested whatsoever. With a commitment to the Disruptor on the side of TShow here, I mean, it's not like we've been seeing a lot of Disruptor dazzle ganks really on the move. Will be more about maybe posturing up behind the mid laner a bit in case there is any sort of rotational or global presence, but more likely just working in the lane, zoning back a bit with Thunderstrike, keeping the lanes in equilibrium, and we'll have to see. I mean, the benefit of getting all that farm for the Enigma could work to the favor of Animal Kingdom here. It's going to be interesting at the start. I mean, if things just go as expected here, do you just expect TShow to kind of win the laning phase? It feels like they're the better matchup in most of the lanes. So.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, they have so much going for them right now. I mean, maybe the Death Prophet can pull off an upset here. 747 is pretty talented and does know the matchup, I'm sure. And we actually see Quaz start for Soothe, so actually going to be a Wexfilker more likely, which makes it even easier in the laning phase for the Death Prophet to pull ahead. But all in all, I actually think this CM's not going to be able to do much other than provide the aura. Like, I actually could realistically see her dual jungling. Like, not beside Nusham as Enigma, but just doing her own thing on her own camps and farming that way. Because if you look at it, she has 38 base damage. This Darkseer has a Stout Shield, already negating half of her damage in each auto attack. What can Ja really do for the lane?
Nothing really. I mean, might as well just work with the pole camp and get your own solo XP that way. I mean, Ziz can just make do, but he's a melee core, and Iron Shell could even prove to be a bit of a problem for him. So that is a lane to certainly keep an eye on. Not going to be seeing a lot of deaths from either side, but that could just be the benefit of a Darkseer. Mid lane already, early Soul Siphons coming out here for 747. He wants to assert dominance right at the start. Already forces out a Fairy Fire from Sooths, and he's able to barely make it away, plus the Salve even being used. So, man, oh man, early aggression coming out from the Suzy.
Yeah, we're going to be seeing Ja move into the lane. Does Frostbite one of the two Iron Shield creeps to help Ziz get that down earlier, but that caused more than half his mana pool, and he's not going to be able to do that many more times. I mean, technically he could do it 5 more times, but just in general, like it's not going to be a consistent way to deal with this threat. He's actually going to go onto Darkseer now, but they stack their disables a little bit. Tavo still going to be able to surge out.
It's a long way to walk around, and he will still be able to make it away. And yeah, with the stacking of the damage, I don't think it would have gotten the kill nonetheless, but you can already see that Tavo's not too scared. He has clarities to work with, still plenty of regen to work with, and already starting to build up for that Soul Ring. Will only make things easier and easier for this Darkseer. Bottom lane is great for the Spectre, has the wiggle room to work with. Sometimes Jenkins is able to kind of get in there. He's trying to manipulate the creep wave a bit, and he gets a nice little D-ward, so they're not going to be able to keep the vision on him mid lane, though. Looks like 747 again, aggressively moving in. Jenkins thinks about the rotation, but is not going to pull the trigger. Invoker will again have to chew through his salve to kind of hold his position here in the mid.
I wonder if this fan would even consider an Iron Talon just to kill off the Iron Shield creep a little bit faster. Like, I feel like that's just going to be a big nuisance for them, and Ja just can't continue to do the same thing over and over here. They have to either kill Tavo pretty soon, or they have to just put the CM somewhere else.
They're going to try to get some early right-click damage in, but they're not going to go for the freeze. And they'll pull back instead. Bottom lane pings are out. Look at Pekko. He's got the haster, and they're making the move for Jenkins. He quickly goes for the TP. And he is right to make it out from the trouble here because the Disruptor is not able to find a place to get his own bit of XP. He's still level 1. And he put that first level into Kinetic Field. So no glimpse available.
Well, the Darkseer does at least have to keep popping clarity and keep staying back. He's not going to get the Soul Ring out too soon. And of course, in the meantime, you do see that Nusham is able to jungle even without the Soul Ring because the Arcane Aura as well as some clarity action here. So some good progression for the Enigma. And it's still last hitting pretty well, 16 and 6. Actually better than Spectre's 14 and 7. I think that's probably the most interesting thing is how poorly CYS has done in the current last hit count.
Yeah, I mean, I said like she had the free room to work with, and I kind of at the same time saw her CS. I'm like, I feel like that should be higher, but I'm already giving her props. I can't go back on that now. But
yeah,
I hate that feeling. I'm like, she's moving pretty good, and I look over, I'm like, why is her number so low? Oh well, Well, looks like she's making a bit of recovery. She's the highest still on her team, 3rd right now, but, you know, as expected, Nusham is just kind of bowling through the CS mid lane, though.
Speaking of the Invoker.
Soothes. This time, they will be able to get him. It's first blood. Jenkins did make the rotation in, and right at the start, as soon as they clash in the mid lane, 747 just let the Invoker know, like, I'm here, and I'm planning on being in a more of a dominating position, and he continues to dish out these soul siphons, and Invoker just not having any of it.
Yeah, at this point, like, just look, I mean, we're sure the Spectre is the top of her team, but you look at who's the runner-up, and we got Dazzle, Disruptor, and Invoker all tied.
He tries to bounce back here. Tornado EMP will connect, but does he have enough? And they're going to have a Shadow Poison here. Cheeky little Shadow Poison is going to be forcing out the Fairy Fires, but can he get it? He's now committed so far, and you're like, no, I'm in too deep. I am in too deep. She has Soul Siphon. And it's going to be enough. That is just the moment of no return. That's when you try to race through that yellow light, but it turns red. It's bad. It's real bad. Top lane, they're making a move for more. Tavo going to get sprouted up, and now the little tree babies are going to be blocking him off. That's an easy kill. And quickly, it just goes from bad to worse here. Animal Kingdom shoot up 3-0.
Really good. Just scouting out the Darkseer has no tangos, takes advantage of it. Jenkins makes his second successful rotation nearly back-to-back. Essentially, he's used 3 teleports this game with very little time left on cooldown. He's really taking advantage of the global presence of this Nature's Prophets. He'll do a little bit of juggling action of his own real quick, but just overall, it's great to see how active he is being. And that's setting up, obviously, the Sven, the Death Prophet, and the Enigma to all get a lot of early farm, and they'll deal with the Spectre later.
So we'll see. Hopefully some attention away from the mid lane will allow this Invoker to slowly creep his way back into the CS game here. Still has a while ahead of him, but Susie's also been kind of kept down a bit in that front. We'll eat a Tornado as they trade nuking damage back and forth. These level 6s are starting to come together. Death Prophet already has hers. In fact, level 6.5, while Invoker's still trying to finish out his. Also probably waiting out for Sis and his Haunt here, getting close to level 6. That offers their own bit of global presence, but Blaze, do they have enough to really make a Haunt work? I already talked about how they're now stuck with the Disruptor Dazzle duo, but with the Invoker and with that kind of help, do you think they can make some, bloodshed happen with the benefit of a Haunt?
I mean, they have no damage, really. Like, you have to have an Ion Shell ticking away at somebody for, like, 6 or 7 seconds to really theoretically have the damage output. Either that or a very big heal bump coming in from Cat. More often than not, though, you're just going to be seeing that people will be walking away at about half HP. They'll probably be out of mana before the Arcane Boots start being picked up, thanks to the EMP, but really the damage is just not going to be there for quite some time.
Looks like a free little bounty rune is going to be snagged up there for 747. There's going to be the Haunt. Where's the commitment? Top lane, Ziz a bit too low, eats the dagger. One more right click will do it. He can even jump back bottom lane, I think, if he wanted to. No, he's going to commit to the top lane here. But hey, but the question if they're going to be able to get some bloodshed with the Haunt, and they make it look easy, just unfortunately maybe the timing not being recognized and Ziz being caught out and eating too much softening up damage allows them to kind of take that kill for themselves. Still
they were much
the top lane though.
Yeah, just way too much hit trading is essentially he's been playing the lane pretty much the same way since the beginning, and while that has been proving effective quite a bit in terms of their aggression against the Darkseer, it also puts you at risk for those kinds of rotations. So he probably said to himself, hey, I don't have to worry about Sunstrikes, and then suddenly Spectre comes in from the opposite side of the map.
They're back now, and Nusham has a black hole, and he is hungry to put it to use, or at least force the push now in this lane as he's building up towards a mechanism here. We'll be making some good timing. The response from TShow, though, oh, they have trouble here. Tavo gets caught out with the stun. It leads to an easy pick-off between the 4 of them, and they will segue this into now a Tier 1 push. Response is going to be TShow looking to take the bottom Tier 1 for themselves. They have a full tower to kind of work through here. Same goes for Animal Kingdom, who probably have a bit better into the pushing game while they match up in the mid lane. Almost a pretty carbon copy of each other here, Blaze.
Yeah, neither one is actually getting all that much. First, the Invoker was being really suppressed, only had like 5 CS after several minutes, but now we're actually seeing the Death Prophet doesn't have much either, 23 and 14, though obviously with the kill assist advantage. But all in all, top lane's going to fall a lot faster. That just you have a bunch of natural pushing heroes compared to pretty much only the Dazzle on the side of TShow, but still trading the Tier 1 for the Tier 1 will give everybody on TShow some gold that they desperately need. The Spectre will have not only the Earnest Shadows, but can greatly make her way towards the drums and just go for this kind of battle build that will give them at least some of the damage that they need early on.
Spectre really pushing her reach right here. Has the haunt in case trouble does come out, but looking to make the most of it here is the wise choice for her to kind of pick up those basics now. Or it looks like an urn is on the way. Is it straight to Radiance here, or do you think she's going to be forced to kind of build up a bit slower? You know, drums possibly. I see a bracer there. That might be. Oh, shears. Okay, so drums will have to be the build-up. So you know, it's the thing with the Spectre. You got quite a ways to go before you reach your critical mass, and this allows a big window of time for Animal Kingdom to kind of make the most out of when they really can peak.
Yeah, at least they do have the Invoker's EMP to kind of turtle this out a little bit more. Like, it's really effective until multiple sets of Arcane Boots come out to kind of slow down the push and make it harder for Animal Kingdom to group up as more than just 2 heroes. So, yeah, obviously the Arcane Aura will slowly circumvent it, but they're still going to look for Arcanes on 2 heroes, most likely the Enigma and the CM, and that's when they can kind of start pushing more reliably. So Spectre has a greater timing window, and I think that she can take advantage of that by going for the drums, but then immediately going for the Radiance. No other intermediary items.
This is good timing, though. Animal Kingdom, I saw that the mechanism is now complete for Nusham on his Enigma, so this is going to be a time for them. They've already taken out that tower there, so maybe just going for the bottom tier 1. Getting rid of these little access points there in mid lane opens up easy Roche potential. I mean, they got the lineup to do it. Might not even require them to have to commit anything like an exorcism to kind of get it done when you have all these eidolons and trees to kind of work with here. And I don't think they have any stacks yet. Oh, they do. They even have stacks already built up at the Ancient Camp. There is a bank account waiting on the side here for the Sven if it's going to be him to take it. And he's going to be close to already his Helm of the Dominator. And it's looking like a bit of a repeat here, Blaze. It's definitely on TShow to kind of make something work, but between now and when Spectre is actually a big problem, I'm not seeing very many outs. I'm seeing more stall tactics and let's avoid trouble.
Yeah, I feel like overall, though, the Wex Voker, the fact that the Invoker has gone for this Wex build-up and has a decent-sized EMP already, does give them a lot more potential at dealing with the early game momentum the Kingdom have already generated compared to their previous game. If you could look at the mechanism, for example, this mechanism costs 225 mana, Black Hole costs 275, the Enigma barely has enough mana to cast both those spells, add in the Soul Ring, and he's not in too much trouble. But then you may look at the Invoker, who is going to be sure to catch the Enigma in the tornado and hence the EMP, and it's going to be actually very difficult for Nusham to get more than 1 or 2 spells off. It's actually going to be very effective until the double arcanes come out. I don't think the mechanism matters nearly as much as the arcane boots that will follow them.
It's a good point. We'll have to see. That is, of course, unless the Invoker gets caught picking his nose and they're able to catch him before any sort of EMP will be in the works. And just the way Kingdom like to play, they seem to kind of favor the idea of putting these fresh new items or fresh new skills to work, whether they're off cooldown or recently purchased. And for now, just kind of guide their way towards the bottom half of the map. Well, Ziz will continue to farm up the top. He has a TP just in case if the rotation is necessary, but he gets plenty of wiggle room to kind of build up his own bit of farm. We already know about the Invoker making his own recovery, but man, oh man, he's still pretty damn low on that net worth. Still behind even his own Darkseer. You got a big chunk of the whole Kingdom tribe there on the other side, and Spectre barely holding her own up against this Nusham Enigma. But here they come, now making the push happen. They got the mech, they got the Eidolons out, the trees are all there. They are forcing TShow to show themselves or make any sort of move. Poor C4T is the lone, oh god, if he gets spotted here, he attacks the creep. Pink is close. Lion, aka Jaw, is going to rotate in, and this Dazzle is now in trouble. This Dazzle is now dead. But he can stall out Shallow Grave? Okay.
I mean, it's a 6-second cooldown with a 20-second respawn. It might not even be worth it. The big thing is that the Frostbite was held. No Grave TP because the CM's always there.
Yep. And unfortunately, just not looking to defend that tower when you're going to be the lone one to do it. There's the Tornado. Will catch the Death Prophet. That rids of her blue bar entirely and will force Kingdom to kind of second guess where their push commitments are really going to be. And we're going to be blessed with another pause. And I agree with the sentiments here with Ziz. Unfortunately, though, there's a bit of a lag spike, it looks like, here for TShow, and we will wait it out. It's a gentleman's game, after all.
Indeed. I actually think the Enigma goes for Guardian Greaves as his next pickup before, like, even a Blink or BKB. I know the standard stuff is kind of like Arcanes and Mech, and then in between you get something like a Blink Dagger, especially Tide Hunters do that. and BKB was what Nisham went last time. But I really don't think you can really afford to do much else. You got to go for the Guardian Greaves because it's gonna allow you to have that shorter cooldown sustain for your team, and it's also gonna, of course, negate the mana cost of the mechanism. So all in all, I think that's gonna be creating a lot of value, and they're gonna be fine with just that item until the Radiance comes out. I'm looking over the Invoker's items, and I see a Close of Haste employing Hand of Midas here, and I'm not sold on that entirely. I mean, yeah, you don't really want both the Spectre and the Evoker to have drums, but I'd still say something that actually allows you to fight is going to be better. Orchid, drums, whatever, to actually get you into these engagements, because you're already holding out for the Spectre Radiance. You're holding out for your Midas to kick in and for your long-term experience gains to really create some value along with the Radiance. It's I guess greedy is the most common terminology, but it just seems like it's out of sync with the timing that Kingdom are looking to push with.
Yeah, it seems very ambitious to think that you're going to be able to get this Midas and really take a lot from it. It would be more on Animal Kingdom to definitely be slacking a bit from pushing forward with these kind of objectives here. I mean, they're already considering the idea of pushing into these tier 2s. Right now they're kind of put off a bit because of the Invoker EMP, but I agree with you. The timing is just not going to match up appropriately with TShow if they itemize in this way, where they might need to consider getting more utility and more to be able to bring into a fight, which is coming their way. I mean, we'll continue to wait, though. Definitely can't have a fight without a Spectre here as we wait for Sis to make his return back. For now, looking to finish out his drums. The dreams, though, of a Radiance are still what feel like very far away. Would have to hope for some serious, solo time to kind of build up that, and I don't foresee Animal Kingdom, especially when they have global presence like Nature's Prophet, allowing Spectre to kind of get a free lane to work with here. So I don't know, very few outs it feels like here for TShow, and the lag problems unfortunately don't seem to help him whatsoever.
It's interesting to see Nisham actually at the top of the net worth here. It's just been completely him, uncontested, in the jungle, doing his thing. Like, while Jenkins was making the moves, Nisham just kept on farming and farming and farming. Eidolon's off cooldown with the Soul Ring Arcanes, and, I mean, just pushing down tower, getting one assist. This guy is suddenly just maxing out his GPM. I mean, 441 is not all that impressive in general, but 10.5 minutes into the game for Enigma, just perfect for him. He's going to be able to get all these major items out here, and while the Spectre will be looking to catch up, it's also wherever she's at is the lane that they're going to look to pressure. Right now, obviously, Kingdom are most in position for bottom lane, but since they're going to go back a couple of times to get mana, unless suddenly a regen rune spawns at 12 minutes, I feel like the Spectre is just going to be chased down, and she has to keep on kind of dodging lanes.
Looks like we are back, and we'll get underway here, folks. If you're just coming by and tuning in, this is BTS Americas 4. We're just starting round number 2 of the single elimination playoffs, where these teams are battling out for $10,000 of prize pool money. And this is TShow versus Animal Kingdom. Oh, excuse me! We got a Roche fight happening right now. That Mott illness is spreading towards my way. I can feel it already. But they are making their move for the Roche, and it looks like it will be uncontested here. Crafty one here from Animal Kingdom. They will commit the exorcism for it and everything. If a stall game is what TShow want, then Kingdom will make their moves to see if they can draw out TShow from the darkness. And, well, TShow is making a move. Fortunately, it's a bit too late, but they're still thinking. Are they thinking that they can still take a fight? No, they gotta step the hell back, and it looks like they will.
No, I mean, the Spectre is available to join, but it is not a good idea. It would definitely not be advisable for them to make that kind of move. So, yeah, we'll just see the push down mid. I mean, they'll just go hard here. They finally got the Arcanes on the Enigma. It looks like only the Enigma, unfortunately, but they'll continue to build themselves up here. Drums on the DP, drums soon on the Prophet. Push and push hard.
That's what it's all about. They just annihilate the trees. Absolute disrespect in front of their own Nature's Prophet, but nonetheless, the tower is what they're here for. And the economy is going to be coming in now. Glyph will stall it out a bit, but look at this. Rotations are coming in from TShow here. Are they considering catching someone off? Zeus looking for the tornado. Ooh, shoots, and it is a whiff. It is not going to be able to get the catch. Animal Kingdom already got what they needed and already got the hell out of there. This will leave no more Tier 1 towers, and if they want, they have time on this Aegis, and they can eventually make their progression towards these Tier 2s. It's just going down the docket there, Blaze. It's not very exciting to watch at the moment, but until we get to that big clash, that is when the fireworks will definitely go off.
So I think at this point, Kingdom have absolutely no reason just to kind of stall the game out. Ziz's stacks are actually going to be blocked out here, so he can't really boost his economy in that capacity. They just want to go for last hits now. They just want to go for finishing off objectives such as the towers. Obviously, Sven was able to claim the last on Roche, and that gave him his peak of gold. So 64-80 now on Ziz, and I really see no reason to stop. They're picking out the tier 2, at least defensively on the side of TShow, but already we're seeing Kingdom make aggressive moves that direction.
All right, here comes Kingdom from the north here, sending out the Treants and everything to get a little bit of that extra side vision just in case. They even have this nice deep ward.
They don't even need to Exorcism this, actually. They'll just God Strength it. They'll have Exorcism for the high ground. I think they go tier 3.
They got a DD rune on Death Prophet. There's going to be the Tornado EMP. It does connect. Sven will be out of any sort of mana here. Arcane Boots are on cooldown here from Nusham at the moment. So he is not going to have anything unless they are going to be sharing some bottled love in here. And they are. What a nice guy. Give a little bit of love in there to Ziz, and that's all they're going to take, man. One by one they go. That checklist is it's another box. Oh, yeah, and dirty little play. 747 going to be sent back to mid lane there instead of defending the top lane. Jenkins will instead take his place.
Yeah, it's quite annoying here. I feel like 747 is really not able to make too much use of his time, at least at this moment. He didn't use Exorcism. He can benefit from that cooldown if they can use it within the next 2 minutes. But right now he's got that Aegis. He's got this incentive to push, but it just doesn't seem like they feel like they have the wherewithal just yet. We're seeing 747 narrowly dodge 3 different heroes, and he's actually gonna just pass on by while the entirety of TShow move to the mid lane.
Yep, they're kind of gathering here like they want to get something done, but not really finding any sort of close by opportunities. Ziz is there farming and is now going to get the rotation in from Nusham, who is building similar to how Jenkins is. He's got the Ogre Club right now, so it looks like a BKB is possibly in order for him. And he'll be able to kind of bodyguard Ziz a bit. Continues to farm up. King of the net worth right now. 7,500 hits that mark and opts to go for the Sage first. Just kind of shows that they're definitely not a team looking to take a fight right now, where normally we see the Yasha picked up. They opted for instead getting the extra bit of strength. And now we'll have pretty much the SNY complete. We'll eat a Tornado EMP for his trouble. But they're not done yet. They're not looking to pull off here. SNY will probably come in hand soon, but they're starting to move for these tier 2s and take what they can from the Aegis while they still got it. That's going to be the Exorcism, and here we go, Blaze. Push will commence.
Okay, it's going to be the question of whether or not they can get anything more. They've got a nice little ward out here so they can see the movement from TShow, but can they actually get the disables that they need? Like, CM's soft disable is not going to be able to be enough to shut down the Invoker. He still gets the spells out. He's going to throw them right out on the Death Prophet, so while their Exorcism will remain, she's actually going to be sitting at very low mana here.
Unless she dies and gets all that mana back, not going to be eating too much damage for it, and they will be able to get the finish on that tier 2, but in the same Animal Kingdom fashion we've been seeing throughout this game, they get what they need, they step out, they reevaluate the map, get the lanes pushed back. They're not looking to hand over anything too easy to TShow when they think they're going to be taking this tier 1 top lane. They continue to kind of get up there to defend it. And maybe an overstep here, but oh, Ziz could be caught out, going for the big bit of farm as they smoke and make their move. Gets off the stun, looking to make a retreat. Tornado will be there though. Vacuum was stacked on top, but oh, Sven, they even can make the Static Storm here. Finally, they take him down. It cost them a lot, but they're able to take down the Rogue Knight, and now looking for a follow-up here onto Nusham. The dagger will be there. The connection sets in. The slow will allow Chris to make a close connection here with that Ion Shell. They will shred apart the Enigma, and TShow will be awarded with 2 nice little pickoffs here. I'd love to see the reward they got from it, and look at that. Nearly 3K of gold, and about the same as far as XP goes. Yeah,
very, very nice. The Disruptor is going to be racking it up now. 1,500 gold. He might just go for the Blink, and that'll create so many opportunities for Pekko. But yeah, in general, I just feel like it was sad because Nusham actually had the opportunity to go for like a 4 or 5 man black hole, but it would have been completely worthless. So Sven was already dead or was on the verge of dying with the last ticks of damage coming out. So yeah, Nusham really just didn't have any choice but to get out of there, and it just ended up being 2 big kills going back the other way, since these were 2 of the top 3 net worth of Animal Kingdom. So yeah, it just goes to show that they need to kind of get their act together and start pushing together hard. I mean, the fact that they only have 2 points in the Arcane Ore instead of 4, the fact that they only have right now the 1 set of Arcane Boots, unless the Courier says otherwise. No, he's going Veil. I don't know. I feel like they're kind of slow pushed. They're methodical play style that they're trying to go for with these 4 or 5 man movements, it's just been kind of dismantled by the one hero, the Wex Evoker.
I don't know if you want to play a time kind of a game with a Spectre on the other side.
Absolutely not.
Yeah, you have a Sven, and yeah, he has that kind of team cleaving power, but if it doesn't go right, this Spectre will just gobble your whole team up, and next thing you know, you're going to have no way to get back into the game. So Kingdom really need to kind of consider picking the pace up a bit. Sweating out the clock is not the choice here at all. And,
I mean, Sven does actually have a lot of potential to just wall up Spectre. If he's able to get close to her God Strength, he can still like 4-shot this hero. Like Sven is actually really good head-to-head against Spectre, but the way Spectre's going to play this, she's going Manta Diffusal, and she's just going to mana burn everybody even further with the Haunt, and she's going to stay back as long as necessary, and then only go in when they're winning.
It looked like they were considering a go-on for Jaw, but Sis decided to pull back. The Veil's going to be there. Sprout, but he does have the Quelling Blade. We'll be able to make it away. Dazzle even going to be here. And will not be a valiant effort there from Kingdom. It was a half-ambitious one there, kind of only having the 2 at the ready. Nushim is here and nearby, and they will smoke up. Look at this. All right, so they are going to be looking for Spectre to be farming out, and they want to get the surprise catch right now. No blink to be able to get it, but man, she is low, and she is flirting with trouble. And that is just all it takes. She is down. Blaze, that's 45 seconds, no buyback. I mean, the team's not quite all together here, but that's a great grab. Just unfortunately caught out of position, thinking everyone pulled back, but they had a great smoke, and they'll get the core down.
whiffs too. Like Soothe has 24 seconds where he can't cast that spell. That's 25 seconds free time on the tier 3 tower. They will be able to drop it down about half, but it's still a little bit worried. And the Glimpse does pull back Jaw here, so immediate TP does not come out. He probably might have been able to, but just ends up waiting out the kinetic field and falling back to his teammates.
Ooh, Jaw almost, yeah, but they didn't quite have enough. They'll be good to make it back in a way. They get a little bit of damage done inside the base. This allows 747 to have a full bottom lane to work with. Finish out his soul booster. That's a good chunk of life. And is looking to finish out the straight up Octarine core here. Ziz working his way through another big boy stack. Has picked up his Blink Dagger now. And still has 1k gold even to share on top of that. So his jump in potential could lead to utter destruction. Again, the potential big black holes. Leap in Storm Hammer, massive cleave, and oh, they've made their move for Dazzle here. Malphus, oh man, loses instantly half of his life. No heal is going to be able to save him from that one. And this Dazzle will be taken out of the picture for 30 seconds. Nice solid grab there from Animal Kingdom, not making it easy here for TShow to comfortably feel good moving outside the base.
Yeah, and this is going to continue to allow Animal Kingdom to build their advantage. They're going to be able to control both the ancient stacks that Sven has been clearing out. They're going to be able to control both jungles, most of the lanes, and it's going to be really hard for TShow to really spread out their economy properly. It's actually not even in Animal Kingdom's game plan right now, clearly, to go for the YOLO push. While they definitely had the opportunity, like this 15 to 20 minute game-ending push was available to them with their draft and with their early victories. As we see Spectre, actually another big pick down bottom. She can't find safety. But like I feel like although Kingdom did kind of miss this window of just going for the hard YOLO push while the Spectre was at her weakest, I still feel like they're going to be able to manage the mid to late game fine. Like, you don't want to go really late against the Spectre, but you can go kind of late. You can just go for the Octarine, Yules, and DP. You can get the spend up a couple more items, a crit, a Satanic, and kind of go then. I still feel like they're going to have the advantage, just not as big as it was around the 15-minute mark.
I mean, they're taking it slow, and we want them to kind of push on forward, but to their credit, of course, they control the most of the map, and during that what felt like slow period, it's not like the net worth was able to plateau at all. They continued to farm in the most, and now with a pick off, and then another pick off, and then bottom lane they made their move. Invoker got off a good tornado to stop out Ziz from pursuing in himself, but with Jenkins rotating in, and them just kind of being at the ready with the help of Death Prophet, it just led to another sweet pick off, this time on the Spectre. And this leaves her a bit poor when she was getting pretty close to finishing out a Yasha with a Diffusal on top of it. Now is just kind of waiting a bit to finish out her farm. This is going to be the last outer tower here for TShow. And now they got to consider a high ground defense. But here comes trouble. They got an Aegis, they got Black Hole, they got, well, no Exorcism, but everything else ready to go.
And once again, the BKB is something that cannot be canceled out. It is not something that can be countered, so Nushem's going to be very confident going to the high ground here.
Here we go. already stepping in, reserving and waiting out the Midnight Pulse for now. Eidolons will kind of soak up the bit of damage there, but there's going to be the vacuum. There is going to be the wall. Haunt is going to be out. Nushin pops the mech, looking to make a move in. That's the Aegis here. They already lost Jenkins. Black Hole only going to be catching 2, pulls him back. And then there goes the mighty CM ulti, but it's not going to be nearly enough. They quickly burst her down. Nice quick save from the Dazzle. Will keep the Invoker alive, and he ghost walks away from trouble. TShow holding on, have not lost anyone yet. Kingdom lose 2. They're able to take a tier 3, but that is not going to be nearly enough. And now as they move on forward, that is going to allow the Glimpse bring back Omnusium. This Enigma will be the 3rd takedown there for TShow. A good hold for them, and they're going to be awarded a good purse for it. Looks like it's going to be 4,200 gold and about the same for XP.
Really good situation management coming in from TShow. They start off with the Darkseer really well, getting some good heroes inside that back wall, and of course the wall just being in a critical placement on the steps. It makes it hard for Kingdom to really push their way into it and to get their abilities off the way they wanted to. They still got a great black hole off, but the combo they were looking for was the Veil freezing field on top of the black hole, and the freezing field didn't last all that long at all. So unfortunately, Ja just couldn't get the damage out that he needed to, and a beautiful save came out from the Dazzle. I got to give huge props to the Dazzle. Perfect timing from Cat to save the Invoker there. They don't lose hardly anything, and now they took so much back the other way.
Looks like Jenkins got away with getting a courier kill. Man, my camera, I don't know what the hell was wrong with it. I couldn't get over it by clicking the portrait, but we get there nonetheless. Right at the end, you'll see Jenkins going down after causing a little bit of mischief. So, go TShow, lose their courier. They'll be able to take the Jenkins down. But now begins a little bit of that side-pushing game from Animal Kingdom here. 747 with Exorcism committed here in the bottom lane. Looking to clear out the waves fast, but Dazzle comes in behind, hits her up with a poison touch, and is trying to draw her away and possibly bait in so that the team can catch up. And there's going to be the Thunderstrike. They'll have a glimpse. It brings her way deep in enemy territory, but it does force the Tornado to miss. They get her, though, nonetheless, in the Static Storm and in the Kinetic Field, and that will be their kill. Ziz is not going to be able to blink in, hit up with those illusions from the Haunt, and they will walk away with a trade. A nice one at that. They take the Death Prophet in exchange for their Dazzle, and this comes off the Jenkins takedown. So TShow again will get the best in another skirmish.
Yeah, just another really favorable exchange for them where it looked like their Kingdom could bring the reinforcements. They just couldn't stay on the target they wanted to. Spectre jumped around with the reality, and it's just, in a fair fight, this Sven will always beat the Spectre, but unless you have the lockdown, he's not going to make it fair. She's going to bounce around across all the heroes, and in this case, the Death Prophet who was glimpsed back was the perfect target for that. Just great play from Pekko overall. Like, looks like he's not going to be able to get the Sven due to a 10-second BKB charge being used to cancel out a glimpse, but just obviously their high guard defense with the back combo with the Disruptor, and now picking up the Death Prophet is all on his shoulders too. I just see some really great teams play coming out from TShow all of a sudden. Like, it's been a little bit weak in the laning phase, but as the 5-man starts to build, they are approaching these fights immaculately.
And Sven handing over that illusion in the wall could just be a travesty for his own team with that ridiculous powerhouse damage and cleave. And even with the utility he could be handing over. But at that, Animal Kingdom looking to give it another swing here. Nushim has his black hole up and at the ready, and they're looking to charge down towards this mid lane. It's going to be taking away quickly that ancient stack. We know that Roche was still pretty fresh, so don't have a lot of time to do so here. What is the correct play here for Animal Kingdom? It looks like they'll just keep the lanes pushed out past the river. Is it more or less what we saw before? Play the economy game in the meantime, which you can win by taking over most of the map and then falling back for the Roche later on? Or do you think they need to, have more of a sense of urgency now that TShow have been able to win back-to-back fights? Top lane, though, we tune in and see that Ziz and Ziz, that's confusing as hell, are going to be going toe-to-toe. Pull back, but there's going to be the nice Dazzle save. Is it enough, though? Jenkins is going to be able to get it after the Haunt does come out. Jenkins barely alive from this one. Ziz moving in, and they might be able to get him there. It's going to be the Tornado. Jenkins does go down. Ziz looking to make his move, cleaving off the creeps to even get the hits on for Invoker here. Already down 2 on the side of TShow, but they can kite up the Ziz. The buyback from Ziz, he makes his move in, and they're going to be able to clean up the Sven out for 70 seconds without a buyback.
I mean, obviously, while the Sven was able to get what he was going for, there was enough backup to draw out the kill and to get the return kills. But I actually am kind of horrified at what CYS pulled out there. Like, he did a 1 HP Haunt, So all the illusions didn't do anything, and then he also bought back and then didn't contribute anything on the buyback. So very awkward from the Spectre. While it is great that TShow were able to kill off this Fen and the Fearon there, now Spectre is absolutely the focal point. They kill Spectre once, dead for a very long time with no buyback available, and at least for another minute she doesn't have the haunt, which is will fix itself a lot faster than the buyback situation will.
Animal Kingdom were able to kind of keep the push going. Meantime, in that bottom lane, while everything was breaking out at the top lane there, and they will await the return of their mighty Sven. Eyes will soon be on the Roche, already minimap circled right now, but they have about a minute before we'll even see the proper timer there. So time is certainly on their side. 747 has his Octarine core obviously complete here. Blaze, what is the next best option for him to kind of...
BKB for sure.
BKB, yeah.
Everybody has to go BKB. Like, there's actually no exception whatsoever. BKB is on everyone. I mean, you can theoretically go Yules against the EMP, but you might as well go BKB now. Black King Bar is so important here because, well, of the Darkseer, the Disruptor, and most important of all, the Invoker. Like, this works over to 625 mana burn on EMP thanks to the Aghanim Scepter, and everything is negated by the Black King Bar. You just have to get it on every single one of these heroes.
In the meantime, though, they don't quite have it, and Sue's already making his move, trying to get a hold of 747. The Haunt's going to be committed. Quick diffuse, but he brushes it off and makes a retreat out. Nusham not going to be so fortunate, though. Will end up going down. Even pops his BKB for it. The glimpse back, though, will catch out. 747, and this Death Prophet will be taken care of. Both go down. Kingdom try their best to continue the pressure here at the top lane, already on this tier 3. Jenkins, though, ambitious, trying to get hold of C4T, could lose his own life. Caught from the tornado. That allows Sizz to make his move, and that Sunstrike and that right click will finish him off. Jaw tries his best with the freezing field, but they are suddenly down 4. Only Ziz is their survivor. He was not involved in any of that. And TShow now have just opened this game wide up for themselves. You see them now crawling back into the net worth game as Jenkins is falling off. Invoker moves on forward. Surprised to see the Spectre still pretty damn low, but this is getting back to even now. Yeah, back to even for this game, and TShow not holding up at the moment here. Oh, fortunate timing for them. This is a low timer on the Roche. They might be able to get it after they push these lanes forward.
Yeah, still, like, overall, just bringing a lot of economy back their way. Just brilliant team play coming in from TShow. I mean, obviously they got a little bit lucky with the picks down bottom, but then just immediately knowing that they could all TP back, respond, and even bait Jenkins in forward. As long as the Sven isn't there, immediately Stormhammering the Dazzle, he gets out alive, and they get just more kills, more kills. We'll see Nusham go in for the solo Black Hole, and even if that's the kill, I don't know about it. Like,
it's not the kill yet. They got the Grave off. It looks like it will end up being a 2-man kill. Or will it? No. No. Sue's making it away. He's running. He's got a tornado. He's good. But Jenkins is right there. Catches him with the Sprout. Will right-click him down. Both of them do have a buyback here. It's a committed Black Hole and a BKB. We'll find out how much worth it was as Ziz is trucking his way down this mid lane to try to justify such a big cooldown being expended here.
If they get the Exorcism takedown mid lane, it is absolutely worth it. The Invoker, however, does have buyback, so you kill the hero that's going to be coming back here with this buyback. The Spectre, however, of course, as mentioned before, still has buyback on cooldown for almost 3 minutes, and she's going to be the focus. If Spectre goes down early in the fight, Kingdom just break the base.
See what they can do with the time they got. Exorcism's out, buyback's there, and they quickly 180. They wanted to force out the extra bit of gold, but Jenkins will be caught in the glimpse. No, he will not. He's got the BKB, and they even expended the kinetic field. Really thought they were going to get that one there, but is that good enough, though? I mean, they didn't get the towers blaze. They forced out the buyback, but was it worth the Black Hole, the BKB kind of commitment in there? I mean, they are going to get the Roche. I guess this does make things a lot better.
Yeah. That's the key thing, is if Roche was maybe a couple more minutes on cooldown and they have to back off and maybe even TShow get the Roche because Black Hole and Exorcism are gone, that's a huge problem. But because Roche is up, they fall back on it immediately. They do get it in before TShow can respond. That's Aegis and Cheese for Kingdom, and they're still kind of at level.
Oh! Jumps in, tries to go for it, not going to get it, gets stunned up instead! Oh! Spectre, though, does get off the cheese. It looks like Will survive and is running under the tornado to make it back to safety, and will be good. Oh, barely makes it out from the big trouble, but Ziz will be able to get the catch up, the double, as he quickly cleaves through home. Sue's going to be the next target here. This could be the buyback, dieback here for him if he's going to be caught. Ziz hustles, gets it done. Oh no, disaster for TShow trying to make a contention inside the pit. Ziz is the lone survivor and is running up through the mid lane. We'll try to, I don't know, cut the creeps or something. Doesn't even have a TP scroll. I think the Kingdom are just going to let him go and truck down this mid lane now.
Yeah, I mean, what does he do? Like, they're walking to the base, and Spectre can't get there nearly fast enough. But he wishes that a Haster spawning in the river. But yeah, he's the currently sole survivor, and he's got to make a very quick recovery back the other way. BKB is obviously a huge response to the massive combo coming in from Disruptor and the Invoker, and now we see Kingdom just fighting back hard. The nice little play from the Spectre with the cheese, barely surviving through all that, but in the end the BKBs went out. They're able to break through the Disruptor wall as well as the silence, and they're able to negate the damage from the Invoker. They take it to him. One big thing from that was Ziz got a massive 1400 crit, cleaving over multiple heroes. That was very fortunate for him, but even still, they closed this one out with a very effective push in the mid.
Yep.
Tier 3, melee racks gone there, nearly taking the range racks as they also just decimate bottom.
Game was getting back to even there, but with that fight, obviously, and with that huge push, Animal Kingdom they got the reins once more here. Not as out of hand as maybe the last game was, but it's still a significant beating at this point, and it will be a tremendous recovery for TShow. And gotta say, a lot of it will, of course, rest on the shoulders here of this Spectre. She does have that buyback to hold back on, but they will know that this Invoker is not blessed with one. At least not for another 4 minutes. We could anticipate Animal Kingdom just making another push here because guess what? Newsham's Black Hole is up and ready to go. Animal Kingdom could be going for the finish here within a few moments.
Yeah, they feel a lot more confident with all these BKBs. Looks like the Crystal Maiden has yet to pick one up, but could keep her distance. Unfortunately, Spectre will not.
Oh! Okay, yeah, the crits are there. Ziz just turns the corner and gets a few auto attacks in before realizing what's exactly in front of his face. Stuns him up and takes him down. That will be an early takedown of the Spectre. Like I said, has that buyback, but that is pretty much going to be the final hurrah for TShow here. They better hope for one hell of a fight. Oh. There's the jump in Black Hole. Haunt comes out after the buyback there from the Spectre, but already some of the damage has been done. A buyback also going to be forced on the Disruptor here. 747 makes his move back. That's going to be the kill. Spectre is out for good, Blaze, and it looks like Animal Kingdom will be able to close this game out. A 2-0 series in the works for them unless TShow can make the ultimate stop here with very little going their way. Oh, it's not looking so good. Sue's now going to be stunned up. Ziz kept back, but the game has been called by Tavo, and Animal Kingdom will 2-0 the TShow.
Absolutely. It definitely looked like TShow had a way back into this game, but Animal Kingdom were resolute. They were able to pick up the critical items of the Black Kingdom bars, take a couple of key engagements on the back of that. And unfortunately, I think the biggest problem with TShow's draft, well, there's so much to praise about it. It comes with a lot of weaknesses too, and I think the biggest thing is hard lockdown. Because Deafening Blast is no longer a hard disable, you're catching people with slows and silences and plenty of other things that they can just BKB. And so that means that until you have an Aghanim Scepter on the Disruptor, nothing sticks. You're still able to negate it all with the BKB, and 4 heroes were able to circumvent that effectively for AK. So yeah, obviously they had a couple of fights that turned against them, but in the end, they're able to push through it all, take the key objectives, take that third Roshan, and take it to TShow.
Got to give props to TShow. They came into this tournament and were slated to go against a very tough opponent. When this tournament started, they were slated to go against the original team Archon. Then, of course, Archon did somewhat disband or have a bit of a roster change. Fire, the new Fire Squad, stepped in for them and had a lot of big names out there, but TShow were able to get the upset and come into the second round, but this time their journey will conclude to Animal Kingdom. So props to them. Their journey is over, though. Animal Kingdom will now be the second team as we look at the updated bracket to secure a spot into the semifinals. Team Freedom with their bye after Digital Chaos did drop out from the tournament are going to be the other team here, but we are not done yet. We still have a couple of series to close out this second round. The schedule as it is for tomorrow, we originally were going to be slated with 3 best-of-3 series, but one of these series is Elite Wolves. I'll just say that things are pending, and to make sure you keep track on my Twitter at KotLGuy and on the Beyond the Summit Twitter to keep an update as far as how the schedule could end up going here. But we're supposed to be seeing Shazam versus E-Wolves and possibly Infamous versus Pain tomorrow, so We'll have to see how the schedule will end up working out, but that will conclude all the action for today, folks. It's been an absolute pleasure. We'll be back tomorrow for more BTS America's coverage at the same time, same place. We'll see. Starting at about 3 p.m. Pacific. Blaze, thank you so much again for joining me as co-caster. I'm sure you'll be back again later in the week. So follow him over on Blaze Casting. Again, myself at KotLGuy. Take care, enjoy the rest of your night, and best of luck in your Dota matches.